the key data I presented in European Bone Marrow Transplantation Group Conference in Florence 1 month ago. So I would like to share our experience, and the topic of my report was effectiveness of non-myeloablative HSCT, our Russian updated experience, and factors associated with better outcomes. As everybody knows, transplantation is still highly effective and still promising treatment option for multiple sclerosis, and we have performed more than 2,000 transplantations since 2005. And the idea, the main philosophy of transplantation is to find the best balance between effectiveness and toxicity, to find the best time when we should do this treatment, to find the best protocol we should use to improve our early and long-term outcomes. So we analyzed almost 900 patients with different types of MS, 898 patients with a long-term period of follow-up, period of observation. So all these patients had different conditioning regimens. We started with our first one, beam-based protocol, then cyclophosphamide-based protocol, and our recent fludarabine-based protocol we started to use in 2022. So, and on this picture you can see, I think many people knows this picture, the evolution of our program to reach the best outcomes, the best effectiveness, and to reduce toxicity. And we can see key points of our program optimization. And these key points are stem cell mobilization. We stopped to use chemotherapy, and now we use only stimulating factors with steroids. Second key point is high-dose immunosuppressive therapy. We stopped to use beam-based conditioning as very toxic, switched to cyclophosphamide, and now we use cyclophosphamide and fludarabine-based protocol. The third important thing, we change ATG to rituximab. It's very important. We don't have virus complication. We don't have Epstein-Barr virus reactivation. And of course, it's very important to recommend people to try to organize early and late post-transplant care. If we compare toxicity of our protocol, we can see that toxicity of beam-based and cyclophosphamide-based was the same. Fludarabine-based protocol was much less toxic, with less rate of infection, less rate of cytopenia, and less rate of organ toxicity. Tragically, we had 6 patients who died, and the main reason was sepsis. And all these patients had cyclophosphamide-based protocol we stopped to use for multiple sclerosis now. And we can see our 5-year event-free survival in different group of patients. This is our updated results. We can see that 5-year event-free survival is significantly better in relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis. This is 87% to compare with secondary and primary progressive MS, but for secondary primary progressive MS, event-free survival is also high, around 80%. So it confirmed that transplantation is effective for progressive variants of multiple sclerosis. I had this question in Neurological Society in St. Petersburg conference 1 week ago, also in Florence. Do we provide transplantation for progressive variants of multiple sclerosis? Yes, we do. Transplantation is effective as the same for primary and for secondary progressive multiple sclerosis. And we can see our risk stratification later. So also, as you know, we compared effectiveness of all 3 protocols. Actually, we didn't find any differences between beam-based, high-dose cyclophosphamide, and fludarabine-based conditioning. So effectiveness of three protocols is the same, but fludarabine-based protocol is much less toxic. And the next step, we try to analyze what factors are associated with effectiveness transplantation. We started to analyze such factors as age, gender, disability before transplantation, disease cause, disease duration, strategy of HSCT early when we do it as soon as possible, conventional when we do it in mid-stage of MS, when patient failed traditional treatment, and salvage transplantation when we provide transplantation in quite advanced stage of multiple sclerosis for patients with high disability level. Also, we analyzed presence of active lesions before transplantation isn't important or not, and quality of life, conditioning regimens, ATG use, and previous treatment. And what we found? We found that only such factors like older age, progressive multiple sclerosis, previous specific treatment, conventional and salvage transplantation, and bad physical health by quality of life assessment are really important. And these factors related to effectiveness of transplantation, but only in combination. So if we have 1 or 0 factors, we have low risk group. In our sample, this is 27% of patients. Intermediate risk group, 2, 3 factors, any of these factors. 2, 3 factors in combination, 40% of patients. And high risk group, 4, 5 factors, 33% of patients. So we stratified our 900 patients to 3 risk group based on our factors and what we have in our results. Interesting results. We can see that patients with low risk group have event-free survival 90%. The best result. Intermediate risk group. So we can see that also relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis can be in intermediate group if patient has other risk factors. So intermediate group 79% and high risk group 58%. Actually, if we think about the worst situation, very disabled person, progressive multiple sclerosis, heavily pretreated, high DSS score, so late transplantation, the worst result is almost 60%. This is not 90%, of course, but if we compare with traditional treatment, 58%, 60% is also good result. But this is the most difficult situation. And the next step, what we are going to do, we are going to improve these results. We are going to find something to do it better, especially for high risk group patients. We can see event-free survival curve. The best one is for low risk group, intermediate risk group, and high risk group. High risk group, if you analyze your personal situation, you shouldn't be upset. 60% is also good result, but now we can prognose our result, not to tell like 70, 50, 60, 90, we can do it analyzing personal risk factors. But another step, when we have this result, what should we do to deal with it? We need to work to improve it. So our results show that transplantation is still effective in all patients in different types of MS. And nowadays, the safest protocol which should be used in multiple sclerosis is combination fludarabine with cyclophosphamide. It's important. The vast majority of patients have clinical and quality of life improvement during long-term period. So, and what is very important, the most important, 3 risk groups were identified: low, intermediate, and high. Actually, the best candidates for transplantation is young patient with relapsing MS, not patient who didn't have previous specific treatment, with a DSS score less than 4, and with good baseline quality of life. But I would like to tell you that this is combination. The best situation is 90% of success. The worst situation is 60% of success. But actually, effectiveness is quite high, and now we go ahead to improve effectiveness, especially in high-risk group of patients. European Bone Marrow Transplantation Conference was a very big and great famous event in Transplantation Society in Florence. More than 6,000 participants took part, and I think 97 countries presented their results. More than 300 transplantation centers, and more than 2,000 scientific researches. Actually, it's great that our approach, I would like to tell you that we are the first who performed this stratification for multiple sclerosis using transplantation. And actually, we received high assessment of International Society, and our research was nominated one of the 100 the best researchers in the world for this year. It's great, but this is only science. Now we should go in clinical practice, and the next steps is our perspectives. Firstly, new lymphoablative regimen. This is future. CAR-T therapy started in some countries like a first phase of treatment. Only 5-10 years should pass to confirm that this treatment is good, but this is quite perspective technology. Also other approaches, but what we should do now to optimize conditioning protocol, to develop new technologies for rehabilitation, to change lifestyle, to support patients psychologically and physically after transplantation. And what we are going to do next to improve results, especially in high-risk group of patients. I think from June we are going to improve our lymphoablative protocol based on fludarabine. We give one more rituximab infusion in fixed dose 1000 milligrams with quite short 7 days interval between second infusion. So chemotherapy is the same, stem cell mobilization is the same, but we give one more rituximab right after stem cell reinfusion, and second high-dose rituximab after recovery from neutropenic phase. I think using this approach we can increase the effectiveness of this protocol to give maybe additional 5-10%, especially in high-risk group of patients. So future will show, but it can't make worse. It can make better. And so additional rituximab increases dose fixed to 1000 milligram, possibly decrease risk of relapse, possibly improve immunological recovery, it decrease minimal risk of Epstein-Barr virus reactivation. It will help to optimize our treatment result, and also this is additional B-cell depletion. So I am finishing, and I like this phrase: success is the child of audacity. We need to be brave, we need to work hard. And success is 1% of aspiration and 99% of perspiration. It means we should go ahead all together. We should work hard. We should do something, not to stay on the one place. And I am very thankful all our patients who help me personally and our team a lot, giving feedback, optimizing communication, giving information what should we do better to improve our service.